And I always like the time when we have our staff survey as well. And it must feel really hard for colleagues to just take 15 minutes out, have a cup of coffee and complete their survey. But what we really want to say, I think, to staff is, you know, those 15 minutes and your reflections really, really do help us think about what we're doing well and what else we need to do to really make sure that despite the context we're working in, all the pressures, what can we do to help people really want to stay working here? What's your sense of why the survey is so important?
Definitely. And I think it's really important because it's a piece of our jigsaw, and it's a really important piece, but it helps us from a really strong data perspective understand our biggest exploration of staff experience in the organisation that gives us data that we can work with. So it's really important from that point of view. I suppose at a higher level, it's one of the biggest staff surveys in the world, and we get a chance to take part in that. So, you know, we get to give our feedback to the national picture of what it's like to work in the NHS. So I think that's important. But I would say predominantly locally it's important on a couple of levels. One, because it's a chance for a team to understand how they're working, and sometimes we don't take time to take stock and think about how our team's working. Our staff survey data doesn't give us all the answers, but it's a really nice way of starting a conversation about how it feels to work in my team and how it feels to work in my colleagues. So I don't think it's about it being in any shape a sense of marking your homework as a team, but it's a start of a conversation to say, that's really interesting why we all felt that. So one of the things we really encourage teams to do is to come together, not in a very formal way, but to try and really understand, okay, so look, a lot of us really felt this. What does that mean? And have a conversation about it. And if there's then something that the team can change as a result of that, because often people say to me, nothing ever changes with the staff survey. Well, actually the change starts partly with us at a local level and understanding. Clearly there's things that we know influences decisions that the board make, for example, that come directly from our staff survey. So really looking at investing in our psychological support for staff. We really heard in the feedback during the course of our COVID year particularly, the value in understanding burnout, how we support people, what's most needed, and some of the psychological support that we're putting into place via our psychologist is really going to help with that.